Yes, welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Michael Sylvia, your archangel, your morning star. This is the program. Yay! So we're going to get into science, the paranormal, reality, and all of that, huh? Great. And history lessons and numbers and codes. So where do we start? We start with New England. What's been going on with New England? Let's talk about MK Ultra from Russia. Rushing people around too fast with bad information. I got some stories about that. 6 years ago, 666, 6 years ago, right? Aaron Hernandez, rest in peace, was found butt naked, hung by his bed sheet on his window with blood circles around his top of his feet, and the middle finger, Freemason middle finger, had blood on it. It was cut. I don't know how he cut his finger, but he cut his finger. And they say he drew the circles on the tops of his feet. And then with a red pen, 316 was put on his forehead. And then there was the all-seeing eye of God with the pyramid with the all-seeing eye on the top. Said all-seeing eye of God. And then there was a Bible put there too with three suicide notes. You know, and then I was reading into it, like, and I'm gonna start with him in that cell dead, and we're gonna go back a couple of cases on these framed so-called MK Ultra blowing his fucking brains out murder, basically building a murder with this motherfucker. And when I say motherfucker, I don't call him a piece of shit. He's a good fucking. I love Aaron. First off, I love Aaron Hernandez, dude, and it sucks that what happened. And let me get into the conspiracy of it. You got to hear me all out. So basically, before we even get started, check it out. Happy 420. You know who was born on 420? And let's get in some respect to the lady who was born on 420, Ms. Hernandez, or Miss Hernandez, Aaron Hernandez's mother, who was missing her previous husband and her son at the same time to questionable deaths. I'm 43 years old now. There's a life experience you get at this point that you're not going to understand at 27, which is how old he was when he passed away. Found by an alleged suicide. So, let's break it out, folks. Why make it boring? Let me speed it up a little bit. I'll show you what I got. Showed it to you before, and I'll show it to you again. All right. Tied end, extraterrestrial. Check it out. So we've got Chico, Aaron, J. Hernandez. J's for Joseph. Aaron, Arian, Joseph, like Joseph Stalin, Hernandez, A.H. Chico. C. So you got, let me break it down to you. Remember Jesus with the fishing hook? So Jesus was a fisherman, right? Right? Anybody catching on to that fisherman story? A lot of fishermen around here. My grandfather was a fisherman too, right out of Fall River, Massachusetts. Father's a fisherman too, and so am I. Except for we like to do deep sea saltwater fishing. And I like to catch all kinds of big fucking fish. So, catch them up in nets. I'll eat them or I won't. So, Chico, Aaron Hernandez, the J in the hook, right? Club 27, the 27 Club. So he's 27 years old when he dies. And so is Odin Lloyd. Odin Lloyd is also 27. And the 27 Club is what? 2 plus 7 is 9. 7 and 9, 1917. Russian Revolution. Is that what they do to our people over here? That's right, we want to hear that noise. Arrgh. You hear that shit out there? Anyways. So, Aaron Hernandez joins the 27 Club. All right. He's born in 1989 on 4/19, right? Anyways. Actually, no, my bad. I got that wrong. He was born in 1989, November 6th. All right. So, anyways, here's where he died. He died on 4/19/2017, right? But when you want to decode it into the death cult codes, death cult like DC, like Washington, DC, or death cult, you see death, 4/20/1917, right? 4/20/1917. So that's how they coded it up, right? Now, why is that important? How is that important? Oh shit, I'll show you something else. I mean, let's go into this. Twin Towers. Twin Towers 9/11. So you get 9/11, the date, plus Tower 7. Remember, your 7 fell down like the 2 other towers. You get 1917, 9/11 plus 7, 9/11, the date, Tower 7, 1917, 2001 becomes the number 12 for 12 years of the existence of the Nazis. 4/20, Adolf Hitler's birthday. 1917, the Russian Revolution. And then you've got this UFO that they were talking about, how you pronounce it? Uma. It's a UFO, allegedly looks like a big joint. And this is the date they said they saw it on in Hawaii in their telescope, 10/19/2017. Which is interesting because it's like 6 months after Aaron Hernandez's death on the same year, 2017. Anyways, it breaks down to you break the numbers down, decode them again, you get 1917, and again you get the number 12. So 10/19/2017, you break them down. And I haven't even talked about Columbine, Colorado. I don't know if you recognize, this is my Colorado shirt. I bought this when I went down there with my wife at the time. So yeah, and I bought this in the airport when I got to see all the ritualistic stuff painted all over the walls. You know? So anyways, when I was there, I got to study because when I moved to Colorado, that's just when the movie theater shooting happened. And that kid was all bug-eyed with his hair all spray painted orange and shit. And he's got bombs everywhere, and he's fucking just shooting up the fucking movie theater because he's a fucking brainwashed zombie. In fact, I haven't even looked at the date of that one yet, but I'll tell you what. Let's go back to Columbine, 4/20/1999. When I was 19 years old in 1999 on 4/20, 2 kids went into their school with the guns and the weapons and all the brainwash to go with it, and they just fucking did everything systematically, and they committed suicide and died. Shot up all the kids, a certain number, killed themselves. So for somebody else that controlled that whole situation, mission accomplished. And that's why when I see, like, when they're talking about Jim, what's his name? Of course, they really silenced the fuck out of him. Alex Jones, where he was saying that Sandy Hook was staged, and people freaked out, saying it wasn't staged, it was real. And the thing is, it was real. Everyone did get shot there. It did happen. But what he was trying to say, it was just staged, and they were all fucking hypnotized into it. It'd been an operation, had been going on a long time before it got ignited that day and everyone got killed. To spark off chaos all through America and get everyone scared and get the gun control and freak everyone out and get the arguing going and put everyone's head down and all the craziness to stir everyone up so that you don't have a strong America. you know, demoralizing America in every single possible way. Communism. So, yeah, they have death cult numbers. I mean, who else died at 17 besides Aaron Hernandez and Odin Lloyd? You've got Jim Morrison, right? You got Janis Joplin. You got Jimi Hendrix. You got you got Kurt Cobain with a questionable suicide once again. So it's like these things happen. How about one questionable suicide that happened around the same time that he died? When I was returning from Colorado, was another Massachusetts local, Anthony Michael Bourdain. Same as him, found hung, but in France, the same country that Jim Morrison died in. Jim Morrison, from Massachusetts too. So when people think New England doesn't get targeted, yeah, we was all fooled, right? Thought the world was a nice place. That's how good we had it here. You know? In fact, let's talk about more about Aaron Hernandez. So yeah, obviously the guy got murdered in prison, dude. There's no fucking question, all right? I had done prison time, dude. For a guy that fucking size, for everything that I fucking heard about. And then, forget that. Yeah, they want to say that he said, I'm thinking about, he said a couple of times, I'm thinking about hanging it up. First off, just because he said that, that doesn't mean that he hung himself, okay? Let's just be clear on that. I'm not listening to it. I'm sure not listening to these fucking 3 notes to be like, oh yeah, it was all on him. He did it all by himself. They were uncoded. You know, all his phone calls right before the hanging. Police said he was fine. Detective said he was fine. And then out of the blue, he wants to turn himself blue. But you know what? That's just what it is, right? I mean, I just don't believe it. This is my opinion. I think it's bullshit. It's horse shit. You know? I mean, let's just talk about how he even got into the fucking murderer right behind his house anyways. Think about it. Think about the chaos behind it. In fact, before I go into that, shit, I already lost my place in that book, huh? Fuck. Does this say right here? I hope I get right to it. Yeah, went right to it. Let me read this to you real quick before we go into what I'm going to talk about with Aaron Hernandez on him being framed into murder. All right? Let me give you some examples here. Here's the first one. And I'm going to get deeper, so please bear with me. I love you very much. This is very important. I'm just like, he was born in Connecticut, so was my sister. Shit, I was born in Rhode Island. We're natives around here. Fucking, I'm like, dude, if that guy really, you know, because there's too much shit going on in this part of the country right now to be ignoring all this shit. Because it's just going to get worse if you do that. That's not security. So check this out. So, and by the way, when this book talks about the CIA doing foul shit, gotta tell you, man, here's what I also definitely recognized. China and Russia, they do twice as bigger, meaner shit than we do. Than this country. Guaranteed. And it's never reported. Yeah, some kind of extortion ring going on around the fucking country, it feels like. No one can say anything. It's bullshit. Well, you know what? No one. I don't want to hear that them two, right, are fucking liberating anybody, because they ain't. They're not even liberating their own people. What the fuck are they gonna do for us? So here's what happened. Let's see. In 1968, CIA scientists at I'm going to pronounce it the best way I can, Bien Hao prison outside Saigon, surgically opened the skulls of 3 prisoners, implanted electrodes on their brains, gave them daggers, and left them alone in a room. They wanted to shock the prisoners into killing one another. When the effort failed, the prisoners were shot and their bodies were buried. I'm gonna add 2 things. Obviously, that was an experiment to turn 2 people into murderers. There's one way they can leak it out to you. It's something they can tell you, not the highly advanced shit that was done to him. And you know something else? You know why they bury those bodies? because they didn't want the fucking story to get out. But here we are fucking talking about it. And that was in a whole other country and no one would ever fucking know. No one would ever hear about it. This guy got killed in our fucking backyard, dude, and they think no one's gonna investigate that shit. That's my fucking... I'm like, what? Come on, dude, for real? You're gonna enjoy all these fucking games and then also brainwash your own fucking people and then fucking kill them after they're playing for you and you're watching their sports? Damn. Savages, man. Goddamn vultures. I'll tell you what. Here's what I've seen in this case. What I've read so far. Here's what I've seen. Here's what I know. Is that and let me say, you know, everyone has their opinion. No one's gonna agree on everything, right? But, you know, the detectives that went onto the scene to collect the evidence, you know, right around his house, right? Respect to them, right? They're trying to do the job correctly. That's what it seems like to me. You always give everyone the benefit of the doubt. They're trying to do the right fucking job and get the right answers to fucking get a case taken care of, not just fucking, well, I got a bonus, so I'm not going to fucking say anything because crime fucking pays. We're going to shit on fucking everything and fucking, nah. So anyways, I'm going a little crazy here, I apologize, but the thing is that when these gentlemen, when these good agents, when they got there to collect evidence, this is what they're saying, right? Like, I'm just repeating what they had happened as far as I've read, respectfully, where they found footprints, right? Shell casings, all right, and tire tracks, and they got everything they could. But here's the problem. There's two problems. One, can they say 100% that they got all the evidence that they were supposed to get while they were there? And the reason why I asked that is because they even said themselves, and it says in the book, and in information, that when they were there trying to get the information about how Odin died, this thunder came over and rained everything out. So they had to hurry. They had to hurry. Have you ever done something while you're hurrying? Do you get the same exact methods done correctly, 100% more accurate when you're hurrying compared to when you have time to get it done correctly by taking your time and seeing what you might get wrong along the way? Did they get all the evidence? Why I asked. They say, okay, Aaron Hernandez's shoe came out. His print is there. Cool. Tell me more. What about the other three guys? So Odin and Hernandez they both get out of the BMW, right? And there's two other gentlemen, right? The guy, I forget his name, his initials OC, right? And then there's another guy, Wallace. And then Wallace is providing PCP to Aaron Hernandez. Mind you, I guess if you study the whole history of Aaron Hernandez, he wasn't doing PCP until all the way around that fucking point anyways. He wasn't doing it any other time. He was always in the pot. And then he started getting into alcohol, and then he got into that shit. This got worse. So then he's in the PCP. The guys, I'm saying is, these two guys, these two other people that in the car with him, OC and Wallace, were more than just friends. They're informants, and they have handlers, and they're brainwashing him, and they're setting him up, and they're lying when they go on the fucking stand because the guy with the initials OC, his first testimony was that Wallace, Aaron, and Odin all got out of the BMW, but not OC. OC didn't do shit because he's the one saying that at first. And I'm thinking he's probably saying that because he don't want to put himself as getting out of the vehicle too. It's just them three. But he said in his first testimony it was those first three that got out. Wallace got out of that car. He got out of the BMW. And then later on, he changes his testimony and says, you know, Wallace didn't get out of the car. Now I remember. All right? That's how it... So then now they're saying Wallace didn't get out of the car. He did or he didn't. Odin can't say anything because he's dead. And Hernandez isn't going to say anything because they don't want him saying shit. So you got these two guys left over, the whole setup all over again because they already studied Hernandez his whole fucking life anyways. You know, they've been preying on the motherfucker forever, respectfully. So the PCP, in 1945, that's when World War II ended. He allegedly kills Odin. Well, they're saying that he gunned down Odin Lloyd with a 45. 1945. AH 45. Then he's born in 1989. AH Adolf Hitler was born in 1889. You get it? In other words, that guy was hunted down for who he was to become a football player by another fucking country. And they brainwashed him. They took everything from him, brainwashed him, and had him fucking. They compulsed him into murder, and they fucking killed him all the way through. At least starting with the father dying of hernia surgery. Hernandez, hernia surgery. Shh. Sandy Hook. Shh. I'm Sylvia. He's Hernandez. Shh. Sending you a message. Shh. 2012 calendar right here. The other murder, 2012 in Boston. We'll get to that one too. That's set up too. Right? But let's skip around a little bit. His father. I have a roommate. He's old. He had a huge fucking hernia. Went to the doctor. That shit got fixed. Done. But a healthy Dennis Hernandez goes in there. He dies when this man is 16 years old. Now I'm going to throw you another death cult 1917 at you again. Just like that UFO shit and the fucking everything else, all the alleged suicides. Final solution, fake suicides. So Dennis dies when he's 16 years old. Then he goes to Florida at 17. 6, 1, 7, 6s and 9s, 9s or 6s, 1917. Shit can really be pushed around just like that, and someone else could be waiting on the other side. So he gets down to Florida. He has an issue. By the way, Dennis was recorded as punching a man in the head during a sporting event. All the kids were playing. He was out there playing. I guess they're all playing, and there was an argument with the parents, and it turned into a fight. And Dennis Hernandez punches a man in the face. Well, he ended up doing the same thing in Florida, right? Goes into the swamp. 17-year-old kid in the swamp. Lady buys him drinks. He doesn't even really drink them. Didn't order them. Didn't pay for them. Leaves with Tim Tebow. Everyone's trying to leave. And the owner and the manager of the swamp is in his face for a $12 bill. Number 12. A $12 bill, those two guys, huh? Yeah. Sending a message, I guess, huh? Anyways, so this guy gets harped, getting him to fucking snap, you know what I'm saying? Working on like a fucking dog. He gets out of the fucking place, and he starts fucking leaving. They're still fucking fighting with him. He's fighting back and whatnot. And I guess they're saying Tim Tebow and other guys are all trying to calm it down. Everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. These guys are just on his fucking ass for a $12 fucking bill. And then they're calling him a punk and all this other crap, right? And so I guess he lost his shit. His father just died the year before. Fucking he's stressed out, dude. Fucking he's working his fucking ass off at school. He's trying to calm himself down on weed when he can. He's paranoid. He's got guns on him all of a sudden, like these Columbine kids. You know what I'm saying? Always got guns on him when he doesn't need them. But hey, make sure you get more fucking. Oh, but you're gonna blame it on him, right? I don't believe that shit. And then fucking and then down the road, just like the last murder, like the first one in Florida, he's in a car with a gentleman, right? They say he's in the car with another gentleman with a few other people. They pull over, they get to a stop, fire some shots, take off. Guy says the shooter, he didn't know what he looked like. And then later on there, he said in his words that I was reading, he was like, he remembers Hernandez from the nightclub, so he thinks it was him. But before that, everyone was saying it was a person with cornrows. Nobody even talked about him. So, it's not like, there's just too much going on with all that, And then the same thing with the 2012, who was that guy he was with? Alexander Bradley. He's got one eye like Sammy Davis right now. Hernandez shot him in the face, apparently. What were they talking about? What was it all about? Why is this guy, I mean, what's going on here? By the way, this guy, Alexander Bradley's in prison right now. You know why? Because he took a gun out and he shot up at a nightclub. And before he met Aaron Hernandez, he was trouble anyways. And my point is that when a guy's worth as much as he is and what he's worth, and more than just fucking football, right? Why is he always getting guns in his fucking hand and shit friends at the exact same time? Like, who's controlling that environment? And to say it's nobody, I already know it's a bullshit fucking answer. To say it's nobody. It's a bunch of fucking people. And he didn't even have his best interests at heart. And the people that did got shit on. And so did he. And his mom. And his fucking daughter. And his fucking girl. And everyone else. Because they couldn't keep... You know what I'm saying? Like, look. Come on. Real world. So 2012, this shooting happens, right? And by the way, all these people, all these cars he's in, everyone else is driving. This guy's never driving, apparently. Did he drive the BMW? Who knows? But all the rest of them, he's not even driving. He's not, it's all these. It's like, nah, it's like, this is unbelievable. The greatest two tight ends of all time in the NFL, and one of them is dead. With a weird fucking history of nothing but MK Ultra from beginning to the end. Of being brainwashed into MS-13. The 13's a B. Brainwashed soldiers. Just brainwashed soldiers. Just brainwashing them. Turning him into a POW right in front of you. You didn't even notice. Because you just thought it was all him. You know? His mom was born on 420. I think that's fucking interesting. In fact, you know what? Happy 420. Aaron Hernandez loved marijuana. And I don't blame him. It heals the brain. He needed it. He was trying to help self-medicate. When World War I started, the numbers of the day and months of when World War I would end are on the license plate of the people that got assassinated in the car they were in. Right? You know what I'm talking about? World War I? Look it up. World War I license plate prophecy. And then I'm looking at my license plates, the last two ones I had. I had one in Rhode Island. And that one had numbers 319 on it, maybe even a 0, but we're going to go with 319. And 319 reminds me of 316, which was written on his forehead when he was murdered. 316 also goes respectfully to Tim Tebow, who looked out for him. God bless him too, right? And also, let's look at, so in 2020, I'm skipping around a little bit, but Tom Brady ended up leaving New England. We'll get to that. He ended up leaving New England. All right? So, let me stop there. License plate, Tom Brady leaving. Hold me right there. Let me note that one real quick. Hold up. I got a pen here, motherfucker. Because we haven't covered Mr. Kraft being robbed of not just one player, but a ring. All right. Tom Brady's going to go to Florida. We're going to get to that. He leaves with Gronkowski and Antonio Brown. I'm going to get to that. Let's go on with the license plates. All right, and then there's the license plates. Before we get to that, let's talk about Mr. Kraft. During the time of when this is going on, denounced to him before he realized what was happening. And by the way, let's talk about our local Patriots owner, Mr. Robert Kraft, right? Let's just straight up, he's Jewish, right? He's a Native American of this land. He's a native of New England. He loves this place, went to school out here. He works for a living. He's honest. He helps people. He provides. He donates. We have an excellent we have all these different organizations through him, right? What is he doing wrong? Zero. He was a happily married man for a long time. His respectful wife passed away. Aaron Hernandez was part of that crew to have her beautiful initials on his chest. For a Super Bowl, they did lose, but hey, it was a fantastic season, 13-3. 13-3. I see the number 13 for 1/3 of God's angels from the heavens. So anyways, Mr. Robert Kraft, as a lot of people in New England are, very happy, go-getty, trust everything at the time, whatever, you know what I mean? Everyone's going through their own psychosis or reality or brainwash and not knowing it or knowing it, or being played and not knowing it. So he ends up going with his friends, right, to Russia, and they toured Russia, and at the end of the day, they got on public television with Vladimir Putin. And this is during when this is going on. Same time, 6 years ago, right? A little bit more. So then Putin asked him for a Super Bowl ring, which was a win in Florida. I got a lot to throw at you. It was a win in Florida, right? Florida Gator. Not the same thing, but just trust me on this, right? So then he takes the ring, he puts it on his finger, Putin does, and tells Robert Kraft on public TV, I can kill someone with this ring, and walks away. Kraft comes back. Before that, he's trying to get it back. No response. They punked him for it. This guy's being called a punk too. Right? And then Kraft comes back, calls the White House. Hey, White House, I need my ring, man. This guy stole my shit. Well, we're trying to make relations with him. So whoever answered the phone must have been the wrong guy. Someone, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with all that. But then Robert Kraft was then told, tell the public that you gave it to Putin because we're trying to make relations with Russia. Okay. It's a nice plan, but they're not trying to do that with us. I don't know the hell, what's going on here. But anyways, so he starts telling everybody. Then after a while, he's like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I lying about this shit? Nah, I want my ring back. It's mine. Shit. Probably wants I bet you'd want his fucking, an Aaron Hernandez that wasn't brainwashing the guns and fucking stupid shit. Hummed down in his fucking house with fucking texting, being fucking, all kinds of hypnosis and brainwashing being punched under this fucking guy's head. No questions asked. 2012, that bullshit shooting on Shaman Street, or off of Shaman Street, with Bradley driving the car and slowing it down and opening up the window and everything. It's like, come on, dude, give me a break already. Give it up, guys. It's a fucking setup and a brainwash campaign all in one. With high intelligence all over it. Easy. Beautiful conspiracy theory with a fucking bow wrapped on top. like a Christmas gift. It's fucking easy to fucking look at and know that's exactly what the fuck's going on. In fact, let me get more conspiratorial. Check this out. His first jersey was 85. 508. Area code from Massachusetts, where he fucking played in. And you know what else? Just to show you what kind of love we have for him that you didn't know about. Check it out. Is that number 81 that he was? That was the second jersey after Ocho Cinco came over, right? Cool. Ocho Cinco was badass too. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm from New England. I've always been I love the Patriots. All right? And you know, 8 plus 1 is 9. That's what this one is. So you got this jersey, 8 plus 1 is 9. So you got the number 9. And then you take his first jersey, which is number 85. 8 plus 5 is the number 13. Right? So you got the number 13 and the number 9. 9 to 6 is 666. I like to say 666 because if you have the right eye, the left eye, and the pineal gland, which is the third eye of the pineal gland, you can see with 3 eyes, if you feel what I'm saying, and you've got 3 6s. True story. In fact, let's go on to fate. Let's talk about love for Aaron Hernandez, our brainwashed and thrown away and shit on fucking patriot. All right? He's somebody's son. All right? In fact, when he got drafted into the NFL, he was 17 years old. The kid of the NFL, baby. Of all the players out there that got drafted when he got drafted in, he was the fucking kid. And you know something? Just like those kids in Columbine, Colorado, he's the one that got fucked with. I know that's a fact. I ain't fucking around. All that shit. Him in prison, when it shows the news of him in a cell, in the cameras on his fucking cell. Well, they're watching him. It's not there because they didn't made a mistake. They know it's there. He goes in there. An inmate walks in there. They're smoking synthetic marijuana and talking about death and God. And while they're doing it, the lights dim and come back on. No coincidences in any of that. Brainwash is brainwash. And when it gets caught on tape, there it is. And on it goes. And compare it all up. Any good, healthy expert that wants to see if what it truly is would totally look at it for what it is. Okay, so we got 13 from his first jersey, 85, and we got 9 from 81, his second jersey. Hell, you know what? The Buccaneers needed a quarterback, huh? By the way, one more thing about Florida, and I don't want to mention it too much because I don't like it, but you know what? Robert Kraft, when he was single, he went down to Florida, all right? And he went to an Asian massage parlor. He got his massage. They decided to give him the happy ending, and on the video, hey, the cops that wanted to set him up or whoever it was that was trying to take a shit on him, they got a good image. They were both laughing at each other, a good old time, and he handed over a $100 bill and she fucking loved it. So there that was. Nothing. Fucking that shit's everywhere. What the fuck is that? Trying to take his shit? Everyone's always trying to extort that man, and that's what that shit is. Every single time. And people are just gonna let that shit happen? Just want to throw it out there, dude. Hell, already you lost him, you lost a ring, right? And then Brady goes to Florida, goes to Tampa Bay, to a stacked team. Bruce Arians, right? Stacked team. All they needed was a quarterback, and he was like, you know what else? It ain't just me, dude. I got Gronkowski, 87, and then I'm going to have Antonio Brown, not Alexander Bradley, Antonio Brown, number 81. Number 8, Antonio Brown, number 81 goes down there with 87, Gronkowski. They went down there with Tom Brady and they fucking kicked ass, dude. And got to the Super Bowl and killed it. To the Chiefs, who are now the Super Bowl champions today. They're the current champions. Fucking, they kicked ass. They beat the Eagles this time. So, shit, man. Chiefs kick ass, and so does Mahomes. But on that game, his score was 9, Brady's was 31. So I want to show you something. 85, 31, 13. I'm born on Halloween. On the 31st, which is like the number 13, but it's satanically backwards, if that makes any sense. So, 31 to 9 is 8 plus 5 is 13, flipped around satanically, that's 31. And Hernandez, 8 plus 1 is 9. You feel me? They love Aaron Hernandez that much. And more. And more. And more. And more. Because there's a lot more about him that they're not going to tell us. And from what I've already said already, somebody fucked up. And you know what? You know what? Chico Aaron Hernandez. C for Chico. A for Aaron. Hernandez, which is H, but you can turn that into an I, right? H-I, hi. But if it turns into an I, and you've got Chico and Aaron at the same time, what do you scramble up the C and the A and the I with? Take your pick. Motherfucker was brainwashed, never got a chance to wake up to the real world for what it really is. He was hypnotized and fucked with his whole life, dude. No questions asked. They followed him all the way into prison doing it. I mean, let's think about it. Let's talk about that prison he was in, right? Hey, if you're in prison, doing a life sentence, unless you're people talk about Jeffrey Epstein, right? People talk about that. Listen, comparing him to Jeffrey Epstein is not the same thing at all. Jeffrey Epstein, listen, if he was here right now, and you told him that his death is the same as Jeffrey Epstein, that motherfucker would pull a gun out and shoot you in the fucking face. Be like, motherfucker, you can't ever compare me to that motherfucker. What the fuck is that shit? Hell no. Got a daughter. Born on the same day as me, as he would say. But, people want to play games, mind games, and walk away and act like they don't know what the fuck's going on. There's all kinds of extra ways of figuring shit out. I was born on Halloween. He was born on 11/6. 10 years after me, exactly. He's born exactly 6 days after me. I like to say 6. And I'll say 666 because I have 3 eyes looking at the number 6 when I'm thinking about it. When he and I are connecting on a spiritual level. We connected on a spiritual level when he was alive. I loved him. And I still do. And I know the real deep truth of what the fucking happened to him. That's fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Oh yeah, license plates. On my first license plate from Rhode Island, I've got 31-9 on there. So 31-9 on my license plate looks like the score of that fucking Super Bowl game that we just talked about. Rhode Island plates. Aaron Hernandez. Ring a bell. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. And then my Massachusetts plate now says, because I'm in Massachusetts now, and I love New England, baby. They ain't gonna fucking be gullible forever, folks. They made that. People knew how gullible he was in a bunch of ways, and fucking, when you got expert scientists, espionage motherfuckers just getting away with bloody murder on this motherfucker, no one's doing anything about it or not seeing it or how or they were a part of it, what the fuck? Shame, shame, shame. You know? In my opinion, that doesn't make him a fucking murderer. In fact, I'll tell you what. Here's what I see with that guy. He's on the phone back in the day talking to his friends. I heard that they're gonna legalize marijuana. Man, he needed medical attention. He needed to be in a medical unit being understood, not where the fuck he was and what happened to him. You feel what I'm saying? That's what Aaron needed. She didn't need that other shit. He didn't need to be hanged ham. You know? So, what I noticed too is, if you want to make some comparisons, is that I guess I could call us the Three Stooges because I'll just throw myself in there. So, going to Colorado, I fell into some brain issues down there. He got a concussion down there. Wes Welker got a fucking concussion down there. That's fucking funny as fuck. But more importantly, those two guys got concussions down there. So you got Aaron. I'm sorry. You got Hernandez and Welker. Sorry. Hernandez and Welker. H-A-M. Ham. Hernandez and Welker. W becomes an M. So them two go down to Colorado. Well, he played for us down in Colorado and got his fucking head smashed and he had to leave on a concussion. All right? So that ain't good. And then same thing happened with Wes Welker down there, but he was playing for the Broncos, right? Interesting enough, Antonio Brown got a ring and he did not. Good job, Antonio Brown. He kicked ass. Shit, dude. Fucking, that poor guy's been, his head's been smashed around everywhere. Poor fucking guy. Shit. We could go on about him the exact same way I'm talking about him. To say that that's not a reality would be absolutely foolish. And then also, Wes Welker and he both got no rings. No Super Bowl rings. And both of them played for Tom Brady. Wes Welker did also play for Peyton Manning. Got nothing. That's the way it is sometimes, you know. But Julian Edelman made the catches that Wes Welker could not make. And I'm willing to bet this. And this is what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong here, but when Wes Welker was in the locker room, from what I understand, all he did was fucking talk about everybody, especially Aaron Hernandez. Always gave him a hard time, fucked with him all the time, spread rumors, and whatever. He's that kind of guy. Fine, no problem. And I'm not nothing against him. I love him. In fact, I'm not trying to dog Wes Welker. I love him because he played good for us. I love him. But he left. He didn't get anything. And Edelman followed in behind him and made the catches that Edelman could not make. And Wes Welker was too busy working on his own game, and I don't think he was really talking about anybody else, and that's why he's got rings. Because he took care of his own shit. Didn't worry about the next guy. Patriot way, you know, just do your job. Don't worry about what the other guy does, just do your shit and everything will come together. Unless you're trying to sabotage it, and you better figure that shit out real quick and I was trying to help you. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, shit, like, yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about, so basically, yeah, so the way I see it is like this. Guys like Jeffrey Epstein are the type of guys that would brainwash and knock off a guy like Aaron Hernandez. You feel what I'm saying? Like if they're using the island to brainwash and hypnotize or entrap and all that faggot shit, the pedophile shit and whatever else they're doing down there, or they just got them on money scams or whatever they're trying. They got the island that gets people down there, and just by each person that comes back, each actor, each whatever, before you know it, someone's fucking extorting America. and everyone's just gonna be okay with that shit. It's like, you don't want that island there. You don't want our fucking people being brought down there. You don't want that shit in their fucking face. And no security should ever want that shit around. It's fucking garbage. Burn the fucking thing. So that guy having a suicide note hung, oh well, fuck it, who gives a shit? Nobody gives a fuck. They got the rest of his crew and they'll figure that shit out, and they got the rest of whatever they need for that anyways, I'm sure. They can move on and fucking figure it. And people, you know what I mean? And bodies, whatever the fuck's gonna happen from that shit, oh fucking well. But this guy? Come on, man. Really? Damn. Guys like him were brainwashing people just like him. Woo! That's what I see. That guy was brainwashing people, so guess what kind of people he's brainwashing? This guy was sexually abused and all that shit as a kid too. I'm always open to say, you know what? A lot more to it than just fucking whatever the fuck they're explaining to us, dude. A lot more to that environment where he came from. And they ain't saying it all. And God bless Odin, right? 27 years old. Think about it. And I'm just saying, him and Odin, they're both, okay. Yeah, okay. Fucking, yeah, my Massachusetts license plate. Yeah, 2017's on the back. 2017, 217, right? And there's a P and an R on the back. The X is nothing. The P and the R. You know what the P and the R means? Players, ring. 2 pieces, some stolen shit. Odin, Hernandez, ring. Super Bowl ring. So, yeah, so Hernandez and Odin both are football players in Gillette Stadium. So is Odin Lloyd, right? So they're both going to go right behind Hernandez's house, not that far from his own house. It's off from there, and they just leave, and that's it. It's like not a lot of thinking there, right? Like, let's just be honest. Like, they just know how to get in this fucker's head, and that's all that shit is, dude. I'm sorry. It just went unattended, or the security was bought off, or someone didn't give a shit, or they didn't know what they were looking at, or whatever the fuck it is. Whatever it is. Phew. To say it was all that dude right there, all that shit, no. I know that's bullshit. I know. Shit. You know what? What the fuck is this shit? 420, 1917, the 27 Club? Yeah, it's a fucking coincidence, guys. Come on. Pew. No, it ain't no coincidence. This guy got fucking murdered in prison. Then I looked up that prison. You know what else? That prison in Wikipedia, read it and weep. The Sousa prison in Massachusetts, the one he was in. You know what? Whatever they do, right? But fucking, they have riots all the time. I mean, look, you're gonna be, no, prison's perfect. Prisons are gonna have their problems, right? But if you're gonna have dim cameras and hypnosis and fucking off and your own fucking player, rather than figuring him out, and they didn't want, and here's the other reason why he got offed off. You know why? Here's why. You know, if he doesn't get offed off with all this MK Ultra in his fucking head, right people get in his head, they figure out what's really wrong with him. You know, people don't want shit coming back on him. Guy's gone. Because you don't know what they can retrieve from him when they get in his head. Which would be everything. Meanwhile, making a joke of it, just to kind of kid around here, O.J. Simpson is just chilling on the streets. Walking around. Killed his ex-wife Nicole way back in the day, which rest in peace to her and the gentleman. To say that this MK Ultra roboting around like a biological robot, brainwashing him to fucking killing people, rather than just chilling at home with his girl, or you know, it's like Yeah, what was I saying? What's his name? Uh, the Juice, whatever his name is. I'm forgetting right now, but the Juice. I was just mentioning his name, so you know what I'm talking about. So the Juice, like even him, not to make excuses, but let's just be honest with what the human body is able to handle. I mean, the Juice, O.J. Simpson, they said he did all kinds of rushing yards back then. All right, so why don't any of us take Aaron Hernandez's shoes, walk in his shoes, or that guy, right? And let's just pound the fuck out of your head for all those years, 4 years, whatever it is. See you handle all those concussions and shit, and then we'll see if you can hold your marbles together, and then let people brainwash you at the same time, and let's see if you can hand it straight. See how you do. And before you know it, there's a knife in your hand, and you're trying to kill somebody, and you're wondering why, and you have to put it down. What the fuck's going on? So, there's all kinds of hypnosis and shit going on in the world, and people are ignoring it. I'm like, dude, you gotta make people aware of that so they can be prepared. So if there's something fucked up come along the way, they can fucking protect themselves. Isn't that what you want for people? That's what I want for people. Shit, that's what I'm encouraging right now. So that's why I'm like, when people like, oh, Putin was like, dude, Putin don't give a fuck about you guys out here. Let me tell you something. You guys are complaining about your own government out here. Psh, you know what? That dude gives a lesser fuck about you than anyone out here right now. Guaranteed. Even if you're on his payroll, it don't fucking matter. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, he's so great to his soldiers, sure. He sent a bunch of tanks to the fucking Ukrainian border. Obviously, he told them all it was all for drills. None of them knew they were going to war until the last second. They're all on their cell phones. They go in there. A bunch of them are all fucked up anyways. Now they're all fucking zombified. You know what I'm saying? They're in war. It's all in their brains now. They have to go through. They have to cycle through the whole thing, and they'll all turn into a bunch of fucking. You know, they're turning into what they're turning into, doing all that shit. What do you want them all over here next? They're not going to stop in Ukraine to keep rolling over, right? Of course not. Putin stole from Robert Kraft a bunch of shit. And this is what I know. I don't know what else there is. That probably more shit we don't know. And wouldn't that be fucked up to figure that Putin from Russia, this German speaking guy, right? Right? Who says he hates Nazis, stole a ring from a wealthy, giving Jewish man from New England. Bodies and rings. Treated him like a Jew in a concentration camp. Like a Jew in a concentration camp. Took his shit. That's fucked up. Wow. Isn't America a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? I'm not beating up on our guys, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that there's an obvious picture there, right? Beyond the balloons that get shot out of the sky, we wonder what it all is. We have to go through the whole life of it. So, yeah. I mean, shit. What else is there to cover? So, if I was just to make a joke at Putin, be like, hey, Putin input. I guess everyone's a robot at this point, huh? Everyone's a robot at this point. Excuse me. Sucks because, obviously he's instituting through signatures on paper on his office shit like that to happen over here, as well as everywhere else in the world, and then denies it and calls everyone else a Nazi and a racist and shit. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You just confused your soldiers with a bunch of tanks, went into Ukraine, and gave off a diarrhea speech for 5 fucking hours about how basically you got Russians over there, and because they're there, you want to go over there, invade the place, and turn it into all Russia and kill all the Ukrainians and re-educate them into your fucking way of thinking and shit. That's Nazism, dude. So, Picture of them before, they were all chilling, walking around with cell phones, living a normal life. Boom, now you guys are just blowing up their fucking hospitals. Blowing up their hospitals, blowing up their schools, killing the kids, killing everybody. And then what? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, there's nothing there. Like, I mean, shit. Then I'm like, okay, well, let me study this Communist Party from Russia. Let me see what they've got going on there. Oh, it's Joseph Stalin? That's it? That guy? That guy killed more people. He killed like, and I'm not calling Hitler, I'm not saying Hitler wasn't a killer, but Stalin killed way more people than Hitler did. A lot more people. In fact, you know what Stalin did? Ha! I'm not laughing because I